Remember the end of Star Wars when the Jedis launched a sneak attack on the Death Star, blew it up? Well, it appears the Ukrainians are taking a page from Luke Skywalker's playbook. For the second time in a month, the Ukrainians managed to attack a major airbase deep inside Russia, an airbase the Russians have reportedly been using to attack Ukraine. No anti-quitsies. The craziest part, the Ukrainian drone managed to fly hundreds of miles undetected. That means it's covered in Reynolds wrap. That also means Ukrainians are A, now able to launch aerial attacks, and B, the Russians have crappy air defense. But could this kind of thing actually make the war and the world worse? Here with me tonight, former CIA officer, chairman and CEO of Portman Square Group. You heard his name bandied about in the last segment. Mike Baker is here to respond. Welcome back, Baker.
I was bandied about. I heard my name and lube mentioned in the same sentence, and if I had $1 for every time that happened.
You'd be a wealthy man in your lair. So Scott Horton said that Jack Morgan, former Special Forces operative and journalist, said that the United States and the CIA are the ones working deep inside Russia to destabilize God knows what. How would you like to respond to that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's many ways to respond to that, but look, I don't know Jack Murphy, and he claims to have a couple of anonymous sources, or 3 or 4 anonymous sources, and one who's been briefed on the program, and he says that the CIA doesn't have any boots on the ground, but we're legally responsible for something that an allied NATO service is doing, and that President Biden is personally approving each sabotage mission. Right there, that part of the sentence right there should make people question the credibility, perhaps, of this story. Mm-hmm. But look, anything's possible. I'm just saying I don't have any inside track, unlike apparently Jack Murphy, who spent 8 years in military special forces. I don't know what his intel sources are like, but never say never, I guess. I just find it hard to believe.
Yeah, and if there's a real whistleblower, come forward, make yourself known. It's like, yeah. I would love to, if someone really had that kind of intelligence, then, don't launder it. Say it, man or woman.
Yeah,
my neighbor Pam was in Special Forces for a long time.
Open the file course and let's see.
Yeah.
But I find the idea that President Biden is sitting behind his desk personally approving each sabotage mission being run by some covert NATO ally operation deep inside Russia. Mm-hmm. I would really need to get some clarification on that before I'm willing to run with it.
All right, so let's say that Ukraine did send an undetected drone into Russia to attack that airbase. Is that a smart idea for Ukraine to be doing?
Well, look, they've been running airstrikes and launching hardware out of that airbase against Ukraine. So on one level, I get why Ukrainian military says, look, we now have the capability to strike. That's some 400 miles inside of Russia from the Ukraine border. Mm-hmm. That's significant. But the problem here is the dynamic is not really changed. We're still miles away from seeing an exit ramp,
yes.
even though the Ukrainians are talking about a peace settlement. They're saying Russia has to pull back to pre-war lines. Mm-hmm. And Russia, which just the other day said, we're willing to talk peace, now came out, and Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister, said, no, absolutely not. You know what? Ukraine has to disarm. Well, that's never going to happen. Neither of those two things are going to happen. So at this stage, I don't see how we get out of this mess, and I suspect this thing just keeps dragging on.
Could we be teetering toward the reality that maybe Vladimir Zelensky is more aggressive than necessary if the goal is to achieve peace?
Yeah, I think, look, there is no chance that Putin gives up Crimea, that he completely retreats from the lines that he had, back in 2014, even on the eastern side of Ukraine. So, on one hand, I understand it, right? You've been invaded. You're putting up this fight, but at a certain point, there has to be some discussion. Now, Putin, again, I don't really see any willingness on his part. So you can't blame the Ukrainian military and government for saying we just have to keep at it. But the danger is, as you pointed out, at what point does this just slide off the scales? It escalates beyond our ability to control it because now the Ukrainians keep striking inside of Russia.
With our weapon systems. I mean, that's the problem that I have. They're not striking back on their own. They're striking back with $90 billion of our gear. That puts us in a very, very bad position if the White House and Congress continue to write blank checks. It makes the world very unsafe. But,
it makes the world very unsafe, and it also creates this dynamic where now we've put, look, I mean, there are a lot of bizarre elements here, right? Russia is still a member of the UN Permanent Security Council. Think about that. Think about how bizarre that is. Now also think about how, despite what Russia's done, China appears to be continuing to align itself further with Russia. Right? They just finished some naval exercises.
I'm so glad you brought that up because we're going to shift gears and talk energy right now. But Baker, please come back. We'll see you in studio hopefully next time.
Absolutely. Take care.
Two of these. Those are thumbs up.